What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back. Another episode of the Get It Right Saturday Night Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Francis, here with my fellow co-host, Colin Fursley.
What's going on?
And we got Oscar Morau.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We got a good one for you guys today. As you can see, I'm in a different little background today. I'm actually still at school because we got so much. Oh my God, there's so much work. But, it's all right. We always got to dedicate time to the pod. And, let's get right into it with some news, Colin. What's on the docket today?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first off, there was news today coming in from Shams Charania, not whatever, Shams Charania, that guy. Anyway,
Yeah,
Shams.
Xi Jinping? Oh, Shams,
the
whatever. Yeah.
yeah. So, the Heat have decided to suspend Jimmy Butler again
For two
for
games.
for 2 games for missing a
Right.
flight because
Yeah.
they're playing Milwaukee and some other team
It's
on
a
a little.
two-game road trip, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he didn't want to go on the flight, but apparently he was still gonna meet the team on his own. I don't know why he would want to do that, but whatever. Uh, yeah. So, this is just another step in the whole Jimmy Butler saga. Also, the other day, the Suns traded, I don't know why, maybe Oscar, you would know. They traded one first round pick for how do you get 4 other first round picks just
Bro,
from
they got
one?
first round picks for 21.45, and like when Bronny
Yeah.
James's offspring is gonna be playing in the NBA. Like Jesus.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know exactly why that
yeah.
trade went down. I haven't read too much into it, but I did see it and I thought it was really strange.
Yeah, so
Let me take
so
a
I
quick
know,
glance at it.
yeah, so they traded one first round pick and in return received 4 first round picks. Now, obviously the reason that they wanted more draft picks is so they have more compensation to trade for Jimmy Butler. So that seems
Yeah.
like that's what's going to happen. I just don't understand the logistics of why would a team give up 4 first round picks and then receive only one
Okay,
first,
so
like that
it's
doesn't
not
make any sense.
they didn't get 4. They got 3 future first-round picks from
Yeah,
the
okay,
Utah
3, not
Jazz
4.
in exchange for another first-round pick.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's 3, not 4. That's my bad. But
Yeah.
But
why?
that's
But
still
why? I don't
absurd.
get
1
it.
for 3? That's kind of
Okay,
crazy.
so additionally, it's a 2031 unprotected first-round pick to the Jazz. Let me get you guys the details about it right now. Yeah, Suns trade 2031 unprotected first-round pick for capital. So they're looking to get like draft capital to build around Devin Booker and Kevin Durant this year specifically. I guess to try and make a push.
I think it's just to get Jimmy Butler. There's no other
Yeah,
reason why they would do
I
that.
think it's to get Jimmy. I don't know if you guys have seen reports. I've seen them all over the place. But clearly, this is not going to be a one-to-one team trade. They're saying it could be 3 to 4 to 5 teams, perhaps. Um, and I mean, this is going to be a really big trade, all for a couple star players, which I'm not sure if you guys have seen. Um, but Bradley Beal apparently has said he'll waive his no trade clause to go to Milwaukee. Jimmy wants to go to Phoenix, and I guess the Heat are interested in Chris Middleton for some reason.
Dog, nah,
I
bro. There's
no,
no
I'm
way.
I'm serious
So
here. I can pull this up and I'll give you the
it's a
details here.
2031 unprotected for a 2025 least favorable first round pick via Cleveland, Minnesota, or Utah. That's what the Suns received. A 2027 least favorable. All 3 of them are least favorable first round picks. The 2027 one is via Cleveland, Minnesota, or Utah as well, and so is the 2029 one. So 2025, 2027, 2029.
Yeah.
And then the
So
2025 one is protected by Utah.
okay.
Whereas all
Okay.
the other ones are unprotected in the
Yeah.
entire
Well,
trade.
I mean, I don't really know what else there's more to say about this. I think it's very obvious that he's gonna get traded at some point, and he does not
Yeah.
want to play. So, and he played the last couple games since he's come back from the first suspension, and he hasn't even done anything anyway. So, like,
He's been
back
playing
to the
bad, man.
usual.
He's not been playing good. And
Yeah.
it's just irritating. Like it genuinely is pretty irritating. Let me see if I can pull this up here.
Yeah. So,
Man.
yeah. I think that's all there is to say about that, unless Mark is
Here,
trying to pull something up.
yeah, I think I'm trying to find it, but it's it's looking like it's going to be a really big trade in
Yeah, yeah.
general. Because so I'm looking at here, some guy said Bradley Beal is open to waiving his no trade clause to the Bucks. Um, Let me go through here a couple more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phoenix Suns, yada yada yada. Let me see here. There has been whispers of the Wizards and Raptors getting involved as well. And the Bucks may not be able to depart New Orleans in time. Oh, no, never mind. That has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
so they're saying that Jimmy Butler trade could happen in the next few days. The potential teams are the Hornets, the Pistons, the Raptors, and Wizards are now getting involved. Um, And clearly, it's gonna be like a big deal because if Bradley Beal gets traded to Milwaukee, Milwaukee can't take his it'd be a big hit on their cap space. So there's got to be a team that can handle his cap space and probably get something in return, like uh, cash or picks or something. It's gonna be a big trade. I think we saw the last game for Jimmy Butler in Miami yesterday. Um,
Damn.
and
yeah, well,
I think by the time that this road trip is over, if he's not traded, he's gonna be traded right after that. So end of an era, I think. And I mean,
yeah,
I wish I can
absolutely.
find who said Chris Middleton and stuff like that, but
It's okay.
I can try to keep looking here.
No, no, that's all right. It's all good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's right. Could be the end of him, so you never know.
I think
Um,
so. I think it's
yeah.
over, man.
All right, well, let's move into the next topic, um, which was Tuesday, or sorry, Monday night, the college football national championship
Yeah.
between Notre Dame and Ohio State, and Ohio State came out on top. It
Pretty
was
handedly too.
yeah. So they won 34-23. Uh, it was a very, like you said, very handily at the beginning. They were winning 31-7 with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, and then Notre Dame really
A push.
They put on a
put on a
show.
comeback. They scored
Yeah.
two touchdowns with 2-point conversions after both of them in back-to-back drives. So, or not, I don't think it was back-to-back, but Ohio State didn't score in between those two, and then they had a chance. They needed to stop Ohio State on a third down and long to get the ball back. They would have had a chance to tie the game, and instead we all saw it. Jeremiah Smith
Jeremiah Smith,
on a
56
deep bomb.
yards.
Yep.
Deep bomb,
Yeah.
but didn't get me 100 yards, bro. I needed 100 yards for me to hit on my parlay.
Oh, dang.
I bet a touchdown on him. I bet Ohio State wins, and I bet 5 receptions, but I needed 100 yards. Did not get that. Homie got like 86, bro. Come on.
Dang. Yeah, that's why you don't bet, kids. But
Hey,
that
$2.
$2. Okay.
Flip, free money.
No sponsors though.
No, not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, so it was a pretty good game. Ohio State, so they won their first championship since 2014. Ironically enough, the first time the CFP format existed was 2014. They were the first team to win, and then the
And now
format
the
gets
12-team
switched over
playoff.
to 12. They're
Yes,
also the first
the
team
first
to
team
win.
to win.
So very
Yeah.
very funny stuff right there. And yeah, I'm glad personally. I'm happy that they won.
Yeah.
I'm a sort of a fan, so go Buckeyes.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
it was good. It was good. So
I'm happy
I
for
don't know.
Coach Tanner, bro. I'm
Yeah,
happy for Coach Tanner. I bet
shout
I
out
bet
Coach
that
Tanner.
guy, I don't know if he consumes alcoholic bevies or not. I know he's up there in age, but I guarantee you he cracked a cold one after winning that. I still remember, I think I said this last podcast, but the Ohio State windbreaker, bro. I still remember that. But really,
Hmm.
honestly,
Absolutely.
if there's any team that I would have enjoyed watching win, was Ohio State, and I'm glad that they did. Notre Dame did put up a fight on the second half there, but you know
Yeah.
they fell short, and I mean Ohio State fell short last year. It's like Ohio State fell short a couple years. I know that. Um, so good for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I know there were more. Sorry, Oscar. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say, besides like the very first drive of the game where
Oh yeah, that was.
Notre Dame came out super strong with Riley Leonard. And they looked like they were maybe gonna even dominate the game, because they were just in complete control. It was a very methodical drive down the field. It was like 13 something plays, and 9 or so of them were quarterback draws. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
uh, and they scored
Insane.
a touchdown. He had a heck of a playoff, by the way, Riley Leonard. So,
yeah,
Oh
just
yeah.
wanted to give a shout out to him. He played incredible. And
yeah.
yeah,
He played. Yeah, he played very well. I think I know there were more games this time around, but I feel like this was probably the most dominant playoff run that we've seen. They won
Oh
all
yeah.
they played probably the top teams in the entire playoff every
They
single
did.
round, and
They did,
they
and they
they
dominated.
dominated. Yeah,
Yeah.
they dominated all of them.
I mean,
besides
So
Oregon, yeah.
dominating. No, they dominated Oregon.
wait, what do you mean except Oregon? You don't
Oh,
forget
are you
about you
talking
forgot about
about?
your field
Okay,
goal? Y'all
okay.
forgot you forgot about your little field goal?
No. I thought you were talking about Notre Dame for a
No,
second there because we were just talking about
no.
Riley Leonard. But
Well, they did dominate Notre Dame as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
Well,
but
sorry,
yeah,
another thing about Notre Dame is that actually their defensive coordinator was just hired as the
yep,
defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm not
Former
sure if you
UM
guys,
head coach Al Golden.
yeah, and I'm
So,
not sure if you guys know, but the Bengals defense this year was the worst of like it was horrible. Like it hurt watching, but it
yeah,
made me so happy because Joe Burrow had to show out, so he got me the fantasy points and we won the chip, baby. But tough loss by Notre Dame there. Gonna have to do some adjustments over the offseason, and let's see if they can get back to this form that they're in right now with the defense, especially.
with their
Um,
very first game
yeah.
back being at the Rock, uh, against UM. Hard Rock seems to play uh, a big picture for both of these teams coming up. I mean, the Orange Bowl, they just won the Orange Bowl there a week
Yeah.
ago, Notre Dame, and now the next national championship game will be held at Hard Rock. So Mario Cristobal has actually put out a statement that his singular goal is to come home in January. Um, so we'll see
I
what
hope so.
happens.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
that
not
ain't
gonna
that
happen.
that's
Yeah.
not gonna happen. But
Look,
anyway,
I think, look, as a
Hey, look, buddy.
as
You're
an
what to duck.
outsider,
You have more inches of snow this year than wins. All right.
yeah. I've had 10 people tell me that already. All right, you're
Okay.
not original. All
Yeah.
right,
I'm
all right.
just
Let's
I'm
move
just
on.
gonna say this. We saw it with Tom Brady and the Bucks. I think it'd be really cool to see it with UM, winning in their home stadium,
And the
the national
Rams.
championship, and the Rams, yeah.
Yeah, but the Rams copied the Bucks. So, like, does it really
But
count?
it's very very exciting, very exciting.
Yeah,
See what
that's
the
true.
future of college football holds. So sad that almost all football is over now, but
Hey,
it
but
hurts.
football's not over. In fact, we have some breaking news in the NFL world. So let's move over there. Nice segue. Thanks, Mark.
Oh, you're
Uh,
welcome. You're welcome.
yeah.
Anytime.
So two of the most coveted head coaching hires were hired today, or I don't know, one today and then yesterday. So Ben Johnson on the right, the former offensive coordinator of the Lions. Really great offensive coordinator. Obviously, if you've seen the Lions, you've seen all the creativity in their plays, their high-powered offense.
Yeah.
He was hired as the head coach of the Chicago Bears. So he's staying in the division. Really interesting. I'm sure a lot of Lions fans are pissed, especially since they lost. Sorry. So anyway,
You're
he's on the
not
Bears.
sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. He's on the Bears now. So a really interesting project for him. It's his job. It's his mission to really help Caleb Williams develop into a great player. We all see he has a ton of potential, and
Yeah.
Matt Eberflus was not really good at raising up that potential. So if there's anyone that can do it, it's Ben Johnson. So we'll see where that goes. And then on the left, I'm a little sadder, but it's whatever. Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator of the line, so they lose both their coordinators. He's going to the Jets. So that
Former Jets player, by
probably.
the way.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Hmm.
Thanks, thank you. So, yeah, so he's going to be the head coach of the New York Jets. He's going to try to shore up their defense because after they fired Robert Saleh, they kind of sucked. And I hope now that he sucks. So he was on the Lions. I'm rooting against the Lions for whatever the reason is. Now I want him to lose even more. However, am I concerned? No, because it's the Jets. You could hire Don Shula, bro, my favorite coach of all time. I'm still not worried, bro. Like, so that's my personal opinion on
Hire
the
him where?
matter.
From heaven?
Uh, yes.
Bro.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about these hirings?
Yeah, I can begin on this. I think everyone expected both of these guys to get hired,
Yeah.
especially after the domination that they showed this year in general. Um, but to be honest with you, um, I don't think Eric Glenn at the Jets is gonna do much. I think that
Yeah.
that team's gonna take a lot of time to get developed, and it's gonna be tough. Um, Chicago, though, I'm excited. You know, they got a young team, young core. Um, and I mean, on paper, it seems like they have some great players, and Ben Johnson is going to be very creative. We saw him be super creative with the Lions, and I think we're going to see that same fashion here with the Chicago Bears. Um, but I just have a feeling that Ben Johnson as a head coach is not going to turn out as good as him as an offensive coordinator. I feel like, just like
Yeah.
a
It's
hot
hard.
take.
It's hard to make up for what he's done already.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard to top
Um,
it.
yeah, but I also don't think that the Lions are going to be affected too much. I mean, we know that under the head coaching of Dan Campbell, the Lions have turned everything around. They've done very well, and they have a great team. And regardless of who they hire as an offensive coordinator, they know they're going to hire someone to keep that creativity and fun factor in the team. So even though the Lions are losing both their coordinators, I don't think it's going to take a toll on them too much. And I mean, clearly the defense for them this year was crippled. Um, with their whole
Yeah.
defense back next year, we'll see their full potential, even though we didn't get to see it the whole time with Aaron Glenn, but we'll see with whoever coordinator they hire next. But it's exciting news, I guess. You know, good for both of these coordinators get their shot in head coaching, and we'll see.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oscar, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's a good move, specifically for the Bears. And I mean, pretty much just diddling off of what Mark said, we'll see how he's able to work with and develop Caleb Williams, especially after a bit of a lackluster first season out of Caleb Williams. I mean, you compare him to Jaden Daniels, number 2 overall pick, and
Yeah.
somebody, I mean, I mean this in the most respectful way possible, and I was telling this to my father the other day, but Caleb Williams was prospected in the draft as a clear-cut number 1. Like, even though Daniels had just won the Heisman, and Caleb Williams won it the year before, Williams was still seen as the clear-cut best quarterback of the draft. He's still, the number 1 pick, and nobody should doubt that. But clearly, whatever was said was not true because it did not translate to the NFL at all. And Jaden Daniels has led the Washington Commanders, who had not been in a championship game this century, um, to an NFC championship appearance. So yeah, I think he has his work cut out for him, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So let's see what happens. I'm excited to see what
Yeah.
happens.
Absolutely. Me
Me
too.
too.
Me too. So, sticking with the NFL, let's go over what happened in the divisional round of the playoffs last weekend. There were a lot of surprises, and we'll start with the one that was the least surprising, the Texans and the Chiefs. So,
Oh, wait, they were playing the Chiefs? I thought they were playing the refs.
I mean, they kind of played both. They kind of played both. I'm not gonna lie.
Hilarious joke, Mark.
Yeah, very funny. Uh, I I mean, I don't really think that the refs' calls would have made a difference anyway, personally.
Look, there were some very clear-cut first downs that, they called them short and they couldn't convert.
No, 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 no,
Um,
no. No, not that. I was talking about the roughing the passer. Those
Yeah,
those are not
oh
those are
yeah,
not
no, no,
bad
no,
yeah,
no. But also
calls.
that's
yeah.
I don't
that
think
that,
that
that
stuff
that's
is
pretty absurd. No, I'm just
yeah.
saying. I watched that game. I watched
Absurd
that game.
Yeah,
records.
yeah. So, the Chiefs won. Mahomes, he didn't really have an outstanding day, but he didn't need to because their defense played really, really well. Um, Joe Mixon had a nice game, and then Travis Kelce really showed playoff Travis Kelce really came to life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, out
And
of nowhere.
the Texans, I mean, I think it'll probably be here. The Texans really had the ball a lot of the time. Look, they led in total yards, time of possession as well. But but they were going on these long drives and not getting anywhere or
Yeah.
stalling.
Two
I
two
also
missed two
I
missed
also
field
think it's
goals.
it's
Yeah.
worthy to note that especially on the offensive side of the ball, more so than on the defensive side of the ball, the Texans were riddled with injury.
Yeah.
And I mean riddled with injury, especially
Yeah.
the receiving core. Um, and I'm not going so far as to say that the outcome would have been different, because I don't know that. I think maybe the Chiefs still end up edging it, but if they were fully healthy, I mean, there's a reason this Texans team was kept kept being brought up as a contender when healthy, is because
Yeah.
the few games they were healthy this year, they look like some serious trouble, man. Especially
Yeah.
Nico Collins. Joe Mixon was a pleasant surprise, and to see him come back to form from his like form 2 to 3 years ago with the Bengals, was really nice to see this year. He had a resurgence in his production and his numbers, and it showed throughout the season and in this game. But if we would have seen Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs out there with Tank Dell as their tertiary
Yeah.
option, like their third option, like, oh my God, I think it would have been a really, really exciting game. But yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's just not the world we live in.
Yep. That's true. And then the next game that happened was the Commanders and the Lions on Saturday night. Now, I will say, am I surprised the Lions are eliminated from the playoffs? No.
No.
Am I surprised they lost this game specifically? Yeah, I kind of
Yes.
am. Jaden Daniels played so well, but also, I mean, first of all, the second quarter was ridiculous. Touchdown, touchdown,
Magnificent
touchdown, pick six, touchdown,
poetry in
touchdown.
motion.
58 yards, 40 yards, and 61 yards. It was ridiculous. The final score, as you can see, is very high scoring. But, Jahmyr Gibbs had a great game.
Gibbs.
However, it's just Jared Goff, man. He doesn't rise to the occasion. What is this? Three
Man,
interceptions?
man, let me let
Mark,
me
go
let
ahead.
me let me
As,
let me start off with this. And I'll say
Wait, wait, wait,
this.
wait, wait, wait,
Those
wait,
inter
wait, 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 wait. Hold on, hold on.
Don't do this to me, bro. Don't do this to me. No, I'm just
Yeah,
joking.
sorry,
Look,
go ahead.
let me start off with this. Those interceptions, they were bad, bro. I watched that game. They were bad. I
Oh,
mean,
I'm sure you did.
he threw them to the receivers, right? He threw them to the corners and safeties. I mean, it was pretty bad.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um, and some of them were on some really big plays too. I mean, if he didn't throw those picks, I think two of those would have been touchdowns, which is absurd. So that score would be very different. So that's what I gotta say about Jared Goff. You can go back to what you were saying, but I can
yeah,
give you
no,
my
I,
analysis of the
I,
game and stuff.
I just think that first of all, yes, the Lions defense played really poorly. They don't really
Yeah,
have a lot of their players. I get that. Uh, but you know, I I think it's just because like the Lions lost, we expected that, except you. I don't know why, but we knew that they were going to lose. But Jaden Daniels and the Commander, not just Jaden Daniels. We talk about Jaden Daniels, he's the quarterback, I get it. The Commanders in general, they're good. They're a good team. All things considered, holding the Lions to 31 points is pretty solid because the Lions offense is good. So,
yeah.
could have done better,
But
but,
I
what
think
solid.
scoring 45 points, even though on a riddled Lions defense, but a
Yeah, that's what I was going
very
to get to.
very ambitious defense, regardless of who's starting and not, is even more impressive.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I mean, 45 points no matter who you're playing is insane. And then,
Yeah,
your quarterback's throwing 300 yards, two touchdowns. Brian Robinson has I mean, it it was just high flying. I think the game, like regardless of who won, the game itself was just incredibly entertaining.
oh yeah,
Uh,
oh
and
yeah, it
then
was a really
the
good game.
Commanders won. So the Commanders, like you said, the Commanders are in the NFC Championship game for the first time in a very, very long time. Uh, and I think the NFC Championship is going to be really interesting because they're playing the Eagles. Obviously, they've
Yeah.
already played them twice, so that's gonna be. Do you have anything to add, Oscar, to this game?
As I think this game, as sad as it is, but we had a big argument about this specific point I'm about to make last year, so I won't allude to it too much. Um, but as I like to say in this podcast, sadly this game came down to Jared Goof. Um, and he showed his true colors. He's been much improved over the last 3 years. However, when it matters most, you can't turn over the ball like in the way he did. And honestly, if I'm very honest, it was just a Lions collapse because you still scored 31 points. Like that's a lot of points regardless of who you're playing. Even with all of those turnovers,
That's true.
they still
Yeah.
scored 31, but they let up 45. So he's not the only one you can point the blame at. But you know he is
No,
heavy-handedly to blame as well.
as much as I'd like to say that if this team was healthy and all these ifs and buts, that the outcome would be different, I really can't. I really just can't because I mean, really, these interceptions were costly, and if they weren't interceptions, the outcome would have been different. Um, but again, this team dominant, and they're going to continue being dominant under the head coaching of Dan Campbell. Although they may not be the number one seed every time, they're going to continue to be a team that has a target on their back. And they're a team that's talented and will continue to get talented with this young core. And I believe they still have their trust in Jared Goff, but you know,
Jared Goof, until further
Jared
notice.
Goof, right? Jared
Yeah.
Goof, whatever.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you know, it just it saddens me because I was riding that Lions train. I would have loved to see them at least make it to the bowl. But
I like the
you know,
Lions. They're a really incredible team to watch. I love rooting for the Lions. But it's just deep down in your heart that they're gonna let you down somehow.
Yeah,
It's one of
that
the
is
sad
true.
truths of football.
it's like the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then going into Sunday, the first game was the Rams versus the Eagles. So the Eagles came out on top. It was a close game. The Rams made it interesting at the end. They had a
Yeah.
chance to go down and take the lead, but fourth down, they turned the ball over on downs. So Eagles came away with the win. Saquon Barkley, I mean, look, you saw what the Rams did last week against the Vikings. Oh, surely they're gonna play good defense. No, 205 yards and 2 touchdowns again. This man has 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games against the Rams and over
Over
500 yards.
500 yards. This guy
So
owns the Rams. This
Now,
guy owns them. He's their daddy. I mean, at this point, the Rams should get on Saquon's knee, on their knees to freaking plead for mercy from Saquon because they're taking a beating. My goodness, Knights of Columbus, what is going on?
yeah,
I would like to say, um, if we roll back the tape and we rewind to last week's episode, I specifically made sure to make it a point that Saquon was going to be the difference in this game. And he did end up being that difference in this game. I mean, you guys just
Yeah.
covered it. 205 yards for 2 touchdowns on 26 carries with 2 breakaway monster plays. One at the beginning of the game, one at the end. By the way, the snow in this game made it a beauty to watch as well.
yeah.
Matthew Stafford, by the way, props to him, played incredible in this game. I mean, some of the throws he had were just
Hey,
insane.
Matthew Stafford in the snow. We've seen him do it before with a very talented Calvin Johnson. So I'm just saying
Detroit
we've
plays
seen
in a
some
dome,
good clips
buddy.
of him. I've seen those. I've seen him. Pretty cool.
So this game sends the Eagles to the NFC Championship against the Commanders, and on the other side, it's the Chiefs versus the Bills. The Bills, they beat the Ravens only by 2 points though. Lamar Jackson
Sorry.
we'll definitely talk about that. Lamar Jackson, 2 turnovers, a pick and a fumble. That was returned a very long way by Von Miller.
One turnover.
2 turnovers. He had a pick and a fumble.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like the 2 turnovers that were picks, and then on top of that a fumble.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So he had one interception, one
You
fumble.
said it right. Yeah, yes.
And then Josh Allen, he didn't throw a touchdown. It's very surprising, but he
The
ran it.
importance of commas. The importance of commas, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Yes. So Josh Allen, if we go over here, he didn't throw for a touchdown, but he ran in for 2, as he usually does on those little cute quarterback sneaks. And I mean, you guys both picked the Ravens. I was really praying for the Ravens to win, but I knew deep down that the Bills were going to pull it out. And like you said, they scored a touchdown when the game was about to end, and they needed to go for 2 to tie it up. And Mark Andrews dropped the pass.
He didn't drop
let me
a pass.
just say this. Go ahead, Oscar, go ahead.
He dropped their season.
Yeah, he dropped a gift from above. He
Oh,
dropped the baby from the cradle. I mean, the
a
ball was
gift.
already in his hands, secured on his body. If you
Yeah,
guys go back and watch an instant
I
review,
saw it.
his body had already crossed the line. All he needed to do was come down with the ball. How do you lose the ball on the way down?
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know, but let me just say this: they wouldn't had went for two in this
The first
touchdown.
time,
Yeah,
if they didn't do the first
if
time,
they
yeah,
didn't go for two the first time, then they went for the field goal or they went for the kick, they would have done the same thing here. It would have been a tie game, assuming that Justin Tucker makes it, which I mean, I guess this year he's had struggles, but he's pretty electric from that range regardless. Um, Assuming that they didn't go for two both times and miss it, this outcome would have been different. It would have went to
Could have
overtime.
been, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but and again, that kind of comes down to the decisions of coaching. You know, like I get it, you want to take a risk, but they scored that touchdown when? What was that in the third
yeah,
quarter?
yeah. So it
It
was
was
yeah.
pretty late in the third quarter.
Mhm.
So understandably, like I get it, you go for two, but you still have a whole quarter of football left. You can assume that you're gonna get the ball back, um, kick kick the extra point, and then play your heart out the next time. Um, and that's
Yeah,
I
no,
mean
that's a great
it's
point.
By the way,
it's
that
simple.
51-yarder by Tyler Bass in the snow, absolutely lights out.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That is
again,
true. But
the
yeah, Mark,
woos of
you
Mark
made
Andrews this year, really. I mean,
yeah,
the woos of him, just
yeah.
unfortunate.
That's a good point. Yeah, Mark, I like the point that you made about the 2 point conversions. When they went for two the first time, I'm a big proponent of kicking the extra point. So I was kind of, you know, I knew they were going to because everybody does it, but
Yeah.
I thought it was a bad idea. But you said it's on coaching. John Harbaugh has a history of doing this. 2 years ago, there were two separate games when the Ravens scored a late touchdown and they could either kick the extra point to tie it, send it to overtime, or go for two. And he went for two both times, and they missed it both times. I remember
Yeah.
that because I remember thinking. So, John Harbaugh is a big 2 point conversion guy, and he doesn't usually get them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just interesting that it happened again in this
Again,
big of a moment.
the decisions you make in such a huge moment, I get it that you trust your team to convert the 2 point conversion, but you should also trust your team in getting the ball back again and
Hmm.
score a touchdown. I mean,
Yeah.
with a team like this that's so talented on the ground versus a Bills defense who I mean, against the run has not been amazing this year. Um, where's the trust? I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
simple, and that just irritates me because as much as I would have loved to see the Ravens in the AFC Championship game and moving on to hopefully the Super Bowl if they would beat the Chiefs.
I really thought the Super Bowl was gonna be like my favorite bowling alley. I thought we were gonna have a bird bowl, man.
They're not Bird Bowl though;
That's
those guys
that's
are
a good one.
scammers.
That's funny. Yeah, yeah. So, you know, uh, great game. Sad outcome. And now we have these two games, the Commanders versus the Eagles, and then the Bills and the Chiefs. So we'll get right back to what we always do. Oscar, please start us off and complete your updated brackets. Go ahead.
So the Cinderella run ends here, sadly. I'm gonna continue my pick of the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Um, and though as I think it would be incredibly fun. Honestly, I think either of these two teams in the Super Bowl is fun to watch. Um, Only because Saquon is on the Eagles. If Saquon wasn't on the Eagles, I don't think it would be fun to watch the Eagles. But with
Yeah.
Saquon on there, it provides an element of excitement. Um, uh, and after everything he had to endure for in New York, you kind of feel for the guy. And I think Jaden Daniels and the Commanders will definitely be back here at some point in the next few years, and they'll have more experience and they'll be able to get to the bowl then. This is that. Oh, Technical
Oh,
difficulties.
oh, he's back.
Sorry.
Hey, he's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. So I heard everything that you said though. So, those are some good points there.
Yeah, so when this is their learning arc, they can gather experience from this, and then as soon as they are, and then when they get back there, I think they'll have enough to get to the bowl, but not this year. Now, the matchup that truly matters. Now, this is if it due to the Bills winning that last game, this is now the best game in the entire playoffs, regardless of whatever the Super Bowl matchup is. The
Yeah.
Bills versus Chiefs. And the last time these two played in the AFC Championship game, rules were changed. All right, this is the type of matchup we're dealing with here. So my heart is telling me no. I mean, my mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yes. Give me the Bills, man. Please, please. As a Dolphins fan, it pains me to say that, but Josh Allen we trust. I mean, you look at Josh Allen, man, and he's a man's man. He's a hunk of a man. He's a hard worker. He can sling the ball. He's got a cannon. And he can run the ball as well. He can be mean. Get down there in the pocket, scramble, run, take a hit. He can dish it out. That's a man's man. I want to see Josh Allen in action, man. I want to see him hand it to Mahomes in the defense. Give me the Bills.
Dang. Okay. All right. I'm disappointed, but go ahead.
I mean, the Chiefs are probably gonna win, but
No, I'm actually scared.
and you know what? I'm hyping up Josh Allen this much. He's just such a likable guy. You probably think I'm gonna do a little switcheroo here, but you know what? Give me the Bills.
Oh my God, bro,
Yeah,
what are we doing, bro?
I
No.
bought in. I bought in.
Oh, it sucks.
I
Yeah.
hate saying that as a Dolphins fan too. Could you imagine the Bills winning a Super Bowl before? Oh my God! But yeah, I mean, it's now or never for them. It really is. This is their shot because there's way too much competition in the AFC. They're not going to be the best team in the upcoming 5 years. So they've had their window already during the Diggs era. If they don't win it this year, there's no other year for them to win it. So it's time for them to make a push.
Okay. And what was your original pick from last week
In Baltimore.
versus the Eagles?
Yeah.
Okay. So you had the Chiefs losing anyways. All right. Pretty good. All right. Let's go over now to Mark. Mark, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so let's start on the NFC, and I
Mm-hmm.
just want to mention some things before I make my choice.
Yeah, you wish that a genie would come out and go
Oh,
back in time
okay,
and make
yeah.
this happen.
Bro, shut up.
That's what you
Nah,
want.
nah. I wish. Okay, I wish, but no. Reality is the reality of it.
Yeah.
Last time we saw the Eagles play Washington, the Eagles were without Jalen Hurts, and it was still a close game, and Washington barely edged it out 36-33. And
Mm-hmm.
Saquon had 2 tutties for like 150 yards. The game before that, because again, they're divisional rivals, the game before that, Jalen Hurts played. It was a lower scoring game, but Saquon Barkley still went for 150 yards and 2 tutties. But Jalen Hurts was throwing better, yada, 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 right? So, again, these teams are relatively even throughout this year. And and I know that Washington really like flipped the switch a little more, like turned on the afterburners during this playoffs, and are playing really well. The Eagles are healthy. The Eagles have Jalen Hurts. The Eagles have Saquon Barkley. AJ Brown is healthy, and although the Eagles' passing game has not been fully involved this playoffs, they haven't needed to be because Saquon Barkley has been carrying them on their back. So as much as I want to take Washington, and I think it'd be a great story to see them in the Super Bowl, I'm gonna take the Eagles. Fully healthy Eagles team. Saquon Barkley, 150 yards, tutties. I think we're gonna see Jalen Hurts play relatively well, hopefully pass over 200 yards. But it's all gonna come down to Jaden Daniels if he can do he can do best, and he can go through that tough Eagles defense.
I like that guy. Smart pick, eh?
Appreciate it. Now moving on to the AFC. Okay, I mean we've seen this matchup. I don't know how many times. I think I'm bored of it, and I feel like every
What?
time I have.
No, this is absolute cinema. What are you talking about?
No, bro. Like I'd rather see the Broncos versus the Steelers, bro. Like some randos
Okay,
who've
bro,
been
What?
get out of here.
What?
Get out of here,
I'm just
bro.
saying.
No,
Get
that's
out
I'm
of here.
just.
There's
an
I'm just saying.
no way.
inexcusable
Okay,
offense.
no, you're
There's
not. Listen,
no
Bro,
way, bro.
bro,
look.
bro, you could
Look.
be
The
expelled for that.
Chiefs,
That's an
the
expellable
Chiefs, the
offense.
Chiefs have been
Oh my
dominant.
God.
We
You
know
can
that.
get kicked off the pod for that. Jesus
The
Christ.
I host a pod. The Chiefs have been dominant. Okay, and I mean, again, uh, their crazy era of insane football is continually going. It's not going anywhere soon. The Bills, I mean, they're playing lights out. They're without Stephon Diggs, and Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league right now. Okay, now like my heart is telling me to pick the Bills, right? Because I'd love to see them upset the
Your
Chiefs
body's telling you yes.
and you know we know that infamous photo of Stephon Diggs standing there with his helmet watching the Chiefs celebrate, yada yada yada. Okay, I know that. Okay, but these refs are getting paid too much to let the Bills win. I wish I'm in the wrong personally. I'm in the wrong industry. I should have never gone into the engineering industry. I should have been a referee based out of Kansas City because my God, I might have a big mansion with so many Mahomes. Because you know I'm gonna be trading jerseys with Mahomes. I'm gonna give him my referee jersey signed to my favorite quarterback. No homo. And I'm getting a Mahomes
No
jersey in
homo,
return,
Mahomo,
and
or
I'm putting them
Mahomo.
all up on the wall, right? But the Chiefs are winning this. I don't know. I don't know what shenanigans are gonna happen here. Who knows? Yada yada yada. Okay.
Yeah.
And we've seen the Super Bowl before. And honestly, bro, like I think I have to cave in, and I think the Chiefs are gonna get the three-peat.
Oh my
As
Lord.
much as it
Mm.
pains me to say it, I was very ambitious these first two times we did this. I was very ambitious. I wanted to see some unique things. I wanted to see the Lions. I thought
Would
the
that be the
Baltimore would
greatest
make it
three-peat
deep.
of all time? Better than Jordan's three-peat?
No, nothing tops
Yeah.
Jordan's three-peat.
Well,
I don't care.
Well, it's
well,
After you
definitely
watch the
harder to
last
do it in
first
the
of
episode,
all,
NFL. It's way harder to do it in the NFL. It'd be the first time ever in the NFL. People have
yeah.
done it in the
Yeah.
NBA.
yeah, no, of course. It's still history.
But see,
But
the great thing that Jordan fans can tell you right now to answer this question, is this better than is this 3P better or is Jordan 3P better? Which 3P? That's the real
Oh
question.
my Lord. And you know what? And then
Uh,
Mahomes is gonna go out and have 2 3-peats of his own. That's what's gonna happen.
yeah, well, you
look,
know.
it's not going
And
to
then
be as
you know what? That's how
entertaining.
he's gonna tie. That's how he's gonna tie Brady for rings. He's gonna have one ring that he got in 2019, and then 2 3-peats.
Yeah. Hey, man. Well,
So let me just finish up here real quick. You know, the
I beg your
Eagles, this
pardon.
whole Eagles run is just going to come down to Saquon, bro. Like I'm gonna be so honest with you. It's just gonna come down to Saquon. This guy, like, you know, my dad
Him.
when he goes to Sam's Club, sometimes he wears his belt to like help his back when he's lifting up heavy stuff. But they need that for Saquon because my goodness, is this guy carrying some crazy weight on his back. But
yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
I'm caving in, and I hope I'm wrong, but inside low key, I hope I'm right as well.
Mhm.
That's my final decision, and I think the Chiefs are gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And last thing I want to say on that
Wow.
is, if y'all notice, Mark's Super Bowl picks did not win. So, you know, I just gotta put that out there. You know, he was, yeah, okay,
Hey, third time's a charm, I guess. You know, let's see.
yeah. We'll see next year. There's always next year. Yep.
Always
So,
next year.
I'm not gonna keep this too long. I got the same thing as Mark, because I picked the same thing last week, so my picks are not changing. The only team here that I got wrong is the Commanders. I would have had the Lions here. But I would have still picked the Eagles anyways, and then I did the same exact thing last week. Chiefs,
Colin
they're
knows
winning the Super
ball.
Bowl.
Oh boy.
So I will say I am actually very scared for this game because I really want the Chiefs to win because I cannot have the Bills going to the Super Bowl. That's not going to happen. So I'm rooting for the Chiefs so hard. Like I'm actually gonna like it'll be as though the Dolphins are playing. Like I'm gonna be that
The
nervous.
glazing is
Okay.
unreal, bro.
It's
Wow.
not glazing the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It's
The Mahomo glazing
it's
is unreal.
unglazing the Bills. Okay, there's a
If
difference,
you
all right?
say this in Denver, if
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
get jumped, bro.
Good
It's
thing I'm
not
not in Denver.
unglazing because it
The
wouldn't be
deglaze.
yeah, it wouldn't be unglazing or deglazing because that would imply that they were glazed in the first place.
Exactly, that's true.
It would be
This
the
guy, this
the
guy, this guy,
saturation of the
this guy
bills.
is glazing
Okay.
harder than
The
some
sun
glazed
drying. The
donuts
sun drying.
from
Yeah.
a Krispy Kreme
That
on your
is true.
graduation for free. 12 dozen donuts glazed from Krispy Kreme.
Okay, look. Let's just be real
He's
here, all
sun
right?
drying the bills. He's sun drying the bills.
Why do people hate the Chiefs? Because they're
I don't know.
good. What am I? A football
No.
fan.
No,
What do I
that's
want to
not-
watch?
That's not why people
Good
hate
football.
That's
Of-
not why
yeah.
people hate the Chiefs because the Chiefs weren't hated for a long time up until last
Until
year.
they won.
No, up
Is it-
until
look,
last year. They had won 2 Super Bowls and they weren't hated.
No, they were.
Oh,
They
yeah,
were.
yeah,
As
yeah,
soon
yeah.
as Jackson Mahomes started
There
doing
you
some
go.
TikToks,
There you
which
go.
was a long time ago, no one was, and then they started doing good, and then people were like, "Oh, I gotta deal with this guy again." So look, it's just when you're good, people make excuses. For example, the Patriots. The Patriots were so good for so long, and the refs were giving them all the calls, and people were like, "Oh, I hate the Patriots." Now, not us, obviously, but now people feel bad for the Patriots because they suck, and now everyone's, "Oh, the Chiefs, I hate the Chiefs. The refs give them all the calls, and they always win." Bro, like they don't though. The Patriots actually were accused, and it was found that they were literally cheating. The Chiefs are not cheating; they're just good. So, and I like Mahomes because I appreciate good teams and good
They're
players.
not
Anyway,
cheating. They're just cheeseburger.
yes, that is true.
Dude, if Andy Reid wins this, I am gonna personally go and take him a triple stack from Wendy's with a large Diet Coke
1 patty for each Super Bowl
And-
ring.
and a triple XL fries.
Wow,
And I'm
That's
gonna hand it to him
generous.
personally.
yeah, that's pretty generous. So
That'd
I
be
got
a
the
great vlog, Mark. Please record it.
yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh, I gotta get to Andy Reid first.
So
That's
so
alright.
I-
I'll just
that-
connect with him on LinkedIn. It'll be alright.
absolutely, exactly.
Oh,
So.
LinkedIn God right here, Mark.
Rematch for the
Mark
both of
Man.
us was Super Bowl 57. The Chiefs won the first time. I got the Chiefs winning again. Reason being it's because of Patrick Mahomes, but also you had a good point about Saquon Barkley's got to be the difference maker. He's got to carry the team on his back, and he's been doing so.
Yeah.
Obviously, I will say though, last season same thing happened, but with Christian McCaffrey, and Christian McCaffrey had a similar season to Saquon Barkley. The only difference is that Barkley does everything on the ground, and McCaffrey does
Everything
does
in
both.
the middle.
But
you know.
but I feel like they probably had similar yards, total yardage. Anyway, McCaffrey
Yeah.
is just as good, if not even better. Some people might say. And look what the Chiefs did to him. He fumbled the ball. He really didn't do a whole lot in that game. So I think the Chiefs have the
defense is tough,
ability.
bro.
Exactly.
It's a
I
tough
think that the
defense.
Chiefs it's not going to be easy, but I think the Chiefs
No.
have the ability to stifle Saquon a little bit. And then also one last point, sorry, I wanted to make with the Commanders and the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. The teams are kind of even right now. I really don't have that much confidence in the Eagles. They've been playing kind of poorly. Commanders have been on the rise. However, the Eagles beat them pretty handily the first time, and then when the Commanders beat them the
You
second
guys keep
second
saying that
game.
Eagles are playing kind of poorly. They did not play poorly in this last game. They just played poorly that one game.
Yeah, well, they played poorly to end like the regular season. But the thing that I wanted to say
Jalen Hurts
is that
has been playing poorly, is what I'm gonna say.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts has been playing poorly. Their defense has been good. Jalen Hurts has been playing poorly. However, he's still better than their backups, Kenny Pickett. And
Yeah.
when the Commanders beat the Eagles, who was
It
playing?
was against Kenny Pickett.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of the Eagles were resting all their starters because they had already clinched the playoff spot, and some people were hurt who are no longer hurt. The Commanders beat them with basically all backups.
That wasn't a bench game. It wasn't.
Well, there were a lot of
So-
players that weren't playing.
No, Saquon played and AJ Brown played. All
Yeah,
their
but-
starters played.
Okay, my mistake.
Yeah, no,
Anyways,
I have it up here.
they didn't have their starting quarterback. They played Kenny Pickett and they won on a last second touchdown. So
Yeah.
I still think that the Eagles are gonna win.
It's Saquon versus the
Yep,
world, bro. Really, I mean that's really pretty much it. Whoever
yeah.
whoever can shut down Saquon, because assuming whoever shuts down Saquon is gonna have it. It's gonna win.
Um,
I mean,
So here is Oscar's bracket. We all have the Eagles making it to the NFC Championship. I mean, sorry, to the Super Bowl, and we all have the Eagles losing the Super Bowl. However, Oscar's got the Bills, and we have the Chiefs. So that about does it for the brackets. And
hey,
yeah,
let me just quote one thing real
yeah,
quick.
go ahead.
Jalen Hurts said, money's nice, but championships are better. I think he might have to reverse that because he's getting the money, but I don't think he's getting them dang championships, bro. I'm just saying.
Hey
I'm
man, you
just
never
saying,
know.
bro.
You never know.
Throwing that out there, man.
That is true. It's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that about does it for everything here on the podcast. This beautiful episode.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Exciting times in sports, exciting times in
Precisely.
football.
Precisely.
And thank you guys for tuning in to the episode of the Get It Right Saturday Night podcast. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace and love.
See you guys.
See ya.